Hello, our friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family.
Hello there.
So, Sassy is taking the threat of gators seriously. She is up on the picnic bench. So is Zeke, as we look at the bayou. And, we're still basically on the road. And, we've been spending time in Texas and Louisiana.
It's just too bad that guy over there where the shoes were, he didn't take the alligator threat
I know,
seriously.
and when I saw this, I was playing with Cindy. I don't know if you can see that object over there. Well, there's actually two objects. Those are shoes. Somebody left their shoes. I said, uh-oh. And she said, what? I said, look over there. There's shoes, but there's no person. Maybe it was a gator. Maybe it was a rougarou.
I don't know about that. I don't know about any of this stuff. So far, I haven't seen any gators. I'm beginning to wonder if they're real.
Oh, they're real. They're out here. They are most definitely out here. So, what we wanted to talk about is the fact that we're in an area tonight, and there's many areas that are going to get hit, probably with pretty intense storms overnight, as the threat of tornadoes, severe damaging wind, perhaps hail, you name it, it's coming to like Oklahoma tonight, Texas as well, and over into Arkansas. And then in early morning, we'll be watching for it in Louisiana, Mississippi as well, and then over into Alabama, where the governor's already declared a state of emergency in every county from these storms. This is going to be a big one. And as we had said, our good friend David Devine had done a video talking about, this is I think about a month ago, he was talking about how the cycle we're in now is kind of the peak as far as the tornado cycle goes, as far as the solar cycle goes.
Yeah, just a lot of stuff going on, and we've seen through the videos too. Every video that we play always talks about how the records are breaking, and this has never been seen before. So definitely something's going on. Do they always tell us the truth about stuff? No, they never tell us the truth. They tell us what they think we need to know.
Yeah, everything is just basically, things get set up, so we do co-create our own reality. And of course, there's some looking at all these interesting ripples and waves out in the water there. You never know what might be coming up. As he's trying to play with her a little bit. But yeah, a big sign says nobody in the lake.
Yes. No pets and something and no bodies, but it should say no alligators are allowed in the lake.
But you really do have to be careful because you just never know. And I've spent a lot of time in the South, a lot of years in the South, and you just kind of get trained to just, look for them. Just simply look for them. I've, walked on paths that are like 6 feet away from a gator, and they haven't bothered me, luckily. Not that I had seen him and decided to walk past him, more like he was, buried there, just the snout up in the muck and the mire and grass like we see just right here.
Yummy.
Yes. So everybody basically in the central U.S., South Central, you got to be aware that there's really potentially damaging storms that are incoming. And we're talking about the potential also for some pretty severe tornadoes, unfortunately. So let's mitigate this. This is a great opportunity for us, EEA family, to send your energy out and let's stop that. What is that over there? Is that a duck? Yeah, I think that's a duck or a goose over there. So let's focus our intent that these storms will not manifest and be as strong as they are already talking about as far as all the weather forecasters.
Most definitely. You guys have the power to do these things. We've seen it time and time again when we've asked you guys to focus on a different outcome, a better outcome, so that people don't get hurt, injured. We've been on here helping to move storms out of the way of people. And we all know the storms have a purpose, so we don't necessarily want to stop the storm if it's natural. But we don't want other people hurt.
Yeah, and we don't need any artificial flavoring with the
No.
storms, please.
None.
Turn off, the HAARP.
Yes.
Beautiful night. Beautiful night. And, I mentioned earlier saying, could it be a rougarou? I mean, that's one of the things that Cindy and I both love is cryptids. And I think a lot of the cryptids are, in reality, perhaps beings that are interdimensional in nature. Sasquatch, for instance, dogmen. The rougarou is something that's known in Louisiana, and it's like a dogman type of thing. And there are also a lot of sightings of the same sort of creature up in Arkansas in the Ozark area as well. And, gosh, now the name slips my mind what they call the one up in Arkansas. But yeah, it's interesting how you see this. And then Michigan is known for dogmen as well. And then you had gotten from the guides that there were dogmen being activated to actually fight against, these negative entities like the reptilians, the Draco.
They definitely are. That's what I got. And I know it sounds crazy to some people, but I know a lot of you guys can understand that we don't live in a world where things are as they appear.
Oh no, the world is much stranger than we would believe, than we would be led to believe, but many know otherwise. We had some really good and interesting sessions with people today. One of the topics that came up was the Salem witch trials and just the whole persecution of quote-unquote witches. And whenever I hear anybody say things like, well, you can't communicate with the dead, they're all demons, to me it just speaks of indoctrination, conditioning, and just a complete lack of understanding to the same degree that can be manipulated to have people cheering on, killing witches in the 1650s, for instance. Absolute ignorance, and it's sad, but that's the conditioning too that can lead to people to strap things on themselves, run into a crowded place, and boom. It's that same fundamentalist indoctrination that makes people absolutely blind and makes them so manipulable.
Well, because they believe that they're acting, in everybody's best interest. They believe in their heart of hearts that they're doing what's right. And some people are willing to die to do what they feel is right. So that's why it's good to make yourself flexible. There is no absolutes. There's no real reality, only perception.
And who were these people that were killed? Well, often it was just people that other people didn't like. For one thing, if you have a personal vendetta against a neighbor, maybe the neighbor, the neighbor's dog killed your goat. There we go again. By accident, and the next thing you know, they might want to get back because everybody's caught up in this fervor and say, oh, Mrs. Jones, Goody Jones, I saw her cavorting with the devil and a familiar. And then, it's revenge time. And this is, whoa, that was big. There's a big bullfrog over there just jumped in. That was big, guys. And I'm hoping it's a bullfrog. I think it just popped its nose up over there.
Okay, come on.
I'm serious.
Stop.
I'm serious. I'm hoping it's a bullfrog. But that's exactly what would happen. A lot of this, and then we do know that a lot of it was made up by, as far as Salem, it was just made up by kids, that were just kind of having fun, which is a sick way to have fun and very, very sad. And then a lot of the people, too, were natural healers, people that were intuitive, people that were psychic, and now we're getting to the real agenda. People with gifts that could expose the powers that be for what they really were. And so this was how it... Yes, it jumped again.
Okay, and it's coming up to the thing. So, can we walk that way? Can we walk that way?
All right, we're going to
Please,
walk
please,
away
please.
from the bayou
Okay.
as Cindy is panicking because she might have her
There's
first.
some shoes with no guy in it.
There are shoes with no guy in it. And it is kind of big, I'll tell you that. As we throw that in to see if we get anything to move.
I don't want to see it come up here. Let's leave it.
Okay.
Let's walk and talk, guys.
We're going to walk and talk as we walk away from the bayou. I'm either seeing a big bullfrog or it could be a gator snout. It's one of the two as something jumps over here now.
Okay, now they're surrounding us.
Okay, so, yes, the bigger agenda was basically, control, conditioning, and getting rid of people that had abilities. Again, and just think about what we see now. History repeats itself. And by the way, Zeke was rolling in a puddle. See, I kid you not.
Hey, but this guy had gifts.
Yes.
Who was the gift?
Was it a Rougarou or was it a gator? Yeah. Well, I don't know. There's a bag over there. Let's.
I'm not looking for that.
Okay, so think about it. Think about it. This is how we've been controlled through religious conditioning, indoctrination, and now the religious control might be in the form of ANTI dash a letter that starts with victory, right? Just think about how people are so divided on these subjects as well. Thoughts?
Yeah, well, they are. People are so divided because they believe that their way is the right way and their way is the only proper way, and they know more than everybody else. So they have to defend themselves and their ego and their person, which people should, have a healthy image of themselves, but not to the point where you actually get angry at someone else for having a different belief system.
Yeah, exactly. So if, say, you grew up and you went to the same church and you were taught by a pastor or a priest who believed a certain way, and he was taught by one that believed a certain way, and say they're very, very close-minded, so to speak, then if you thought other than them, it's almost like you're probably feeling like you're disrespecting them, or you're disrespecting your heritage or your teachings or your upbringings, the people that were important in your life. So it's understandable, and that's how this conditioning happens and is applied, and has throughout centuries. Same thing with when the Europeans came into the Americas, and some say it was over 100 million native indigenous people that were occupying the Americas that were slaughtered, way more than the 6 million in World War II, as far as that particular travesty. So, history repeats itself. Different things, there's always different quote-unquote dogma that we're given. Mm-hmm. And we are given dogma. I mean, they're telling us what to believe. And, if you believe otherwise, there's a witch. Mm-hmm. There's a witch.
That's right. So very important to stay centered and keep an open mind. Actually, that's the safest place all of us can be.
Yeah, so we just wanted to share that thought with you guys. And again, everybody in South Central U.S. and then over into the East Coast, be aware of the strong storms that are going to be moving into the area. Mm-hmm. So later on in the week, it'll be impacting the Carolinas and Georgia as well. So always be prepared, guys, and have a plan. We thank you for being part of the family. Make sure you are subscribed. Thanks for your support on Ko-Fi and Patreon, because we couldn't do it without you. If you need to make an appointment, reach out to us at evolutionaryenergyarts@gmail.com or EEARTS@protonmail.com. And we are about 2 to 3 weeks out right now as far as the appointments go. But we do want to help as many as possible.
God bless and namaste.
God bless, guys. Namaste.